The 9 o'clock news from the BBC with Julia Somerville and John Humphreys.
We apologise for the loss of the 9 o'clock news. In the meantime, here are some pages from CFAX. Well, I'm happy to say we can now continue with our published programmes, and so back to Naked Video.
Hello again. And coming up next on Naked Video...
the government's new Get Tough policy for rapists.
Then it's test tube babies. The things that can go wrong.
And go over to Wapping, where the editor of The Sun is checking today's front page.
Tennis. And we ask the question, has teenage champion Boris Becker burnt himself out?
And we can finally reveal that the funny mark on President Gorbachev's head is a scab caused by constantly combing his Baldy bit.
And now we go live by satellite to the White House lawn for a rare glimpse of President Reagan's youngest son.
We'll be looking at all this and more. But first...
Chucks, it's Scylla here. Oh, we had a lovely audience tonight. Oh, yes. Well, we've got some good news and some bad news for you this week. And the good news is that this is the last in the present series. Yes. And the bad news is we're coming back in the autumn. Yes, but because this is the last programme, we got a very special surprise lined up for you. But first of all, do you remember Sharon from Peckham, who came in? She came in to find her perfect fella. And she picked Paul. And what a gorgeous fella he was, yes. What a gorgeous fella. Well, we sent them out for a night in the town to get some posh nosh. We did, yes. So let's now see how they got on. Well, Sharon, Paul, you two love birds, eh? Well, did you have a good time, Chucks?
Yes, it was marvellous.
Yeah, it was great, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely, so it is. Well, there's one question that we are all dying to know the answer to. Aren't we, ladies and gentlemen, aren't we? Yes. And that is, did you have it off later?
Wait a minute, that's
Yes, we
a bit
did.
like...
Yes, we did.
Oh, that's marvellous, so it is marvellous, yes. Well, Paul, Chuck, it's not over yet, you know. It's not, no. You were brought up in an orphanage, weren't you, Paul?
Oh, no.
Yes. You never knew your mum and dad.
Oh, no.
You never knew your family.
No.
No. Well, we've done some investigating, Paul, we have, yes.
Oh.
And we found out that Sharon is his sister. You never knew. Surprise!
This is the man who put $1 million on black, and it came up red. This is the man who married a sex kitten, just as she turned into a cat. This is the man who moved into gold, just as the clever money moved out. This is the man who drives a Sinclair C5. How can anyone be that stupid?
I think the Sinclair C5 was a great idea. For the first time in my life, I don't feel a complete prat in my Reliant Robin.
You talking to me? Don't you talk to me, eh? Listen, I'll tell you. The trouble with this Tory government is what they're doing to people like me, and there you are. See people like him, see people like me. It's OTT altogether, yeah. And you mean you can talk about your 30s? Your 30s, eh? Christ, I lived through the 30s. I had TB, I had ringworm. And I saw the jazz singer 4 times. Christ, I know what I'm talking about. I mean, you can talk about your Holocaust. That's fair enough, your Holocaust. But Christ, that was a skive compared to this. That was a doodle compared to this. I mean, have you tried getting a sick line after 5 days, eh? No. Don't you talk to me. Talk much, be your friend. And the best is you can see the buggers. See them sitting there on the telly in their dinner jackets, sitting there, having their dinners with their yaddy-da this and their laddy-da that. And see when it comes down to it, they're no better than them. In fact, they're worse than them. There you are. They're worse than them scum. And what does that mean, eh? I mean, maybe you can work it out because I can't. But then again, who am I, eh? Who am I? Eh? Nah. See when you scrape it all away, all the crap, and you get right down to it. You mean right down to the bottom line. They're all a lot of jumped up fascist bastards, that's what they are. I'll tell you something else, son. I should know, for I was an inspector in the buses. But I mean, what is the answer? Eh? I mean, maybe you can tell me what the answer is, because I'm Donald Duck if I know what the answer is. What was your question again?
From Del Monte. He say,
Hello, I'm Shadwell the poet. I know what you're saying. Why isn't he dead? All the best poets are dead. Well, if it's any consolation, quite a lot of people who've enjoyed my poems in the past are dead now. And I don't feel very well myself, as a matter of fact. In fact, this week my poem is about the doctors because that's where I went. I went to the doctors, and the first thing that Dr. Cavloino said to me was, Shadwell, do you want to be treated privately? And I said, no. So he examined me in the waiting room. I suppose that's why they call it the community health centre, really. But the other patients were very helpful. I suppose if they're ill, they must know something about medicine. Mr. Pooh thought I'd got bubonic plague, and he kept trying to pour boiling water on my anorak. Mr. Gosainen said that he thought I'd got an inferiority complex, but it don't matter because I'm inferior. Then Dr. Cavloino got very serious and he said, all right, Shadwell, I want you to undress down to your underpants. And it all went very quiet. The only sound was me undoing the safety pins on my cardigan. And then there I was in my pants. And Mr. Greeley said, Shadwell, I think we've seen his pants before, haven't we? And I said, yes, Mr. Greeley, they used to be yours. My mum bought them off you last winter. They're very good pants, wholemeal pants, lots of roughage in them, right? Anyway, then Dr. Cavloino started asking a lot of very serious questions. He said, Shadwell, why aren't your legs moving? Because I'm sitting down. All right, he said, don't get cheeky with me. I'm going to ask you a very serious question now. Shadwell, have you ever thought about taking your own life? No? Well, I think you should. And then he said, well, Shadwell, I'm not going to give you a physical examination because, well, you might have something catching, but is there anything that you want to tell me about before you go? And I said, well, yes, there is one thing. I keep hearing these voices. Voices, yes. What sort of things do they say, Shadwell? Oh, things like, Shadwell, have you made your bed? And, Shadwell, where's that loaf I sent you out for? I see, and tell me, Shadwell, are there other people about when you hear these voices? Yes. Shadwell, what you've got is incurable. You're stupid. Get out. So I wrote this poem on the way home. Hickory dickory doctor, I don't feel very well. Well, an apple a day will keep me away. So why don't you ask a greengrocer for a second opinion?
Sunday, wrote Mr. Kipling, and I discover a distraught young girl weeping in my garden. Tearfully, she explains that the family planning clinic won't prescribe the pill, as she's only 15. That night, I created my new masterpieces. Mr. Kipling's contraceptive sponges, in packets of 6. Perfect for every conceivable occasion.
Now, that's it. Now, gently but firmly, help the baby along. Good, that's it. Now, take hold of the baby gently and firmly. Now, very carefully cut the umbilical cord.
I wanted to become a born-again Christian, but I couldn't. My mother's had a hysterectomy.
Watch me. Every morning right across the nation, normal people eat their bacon and eggs. They buy the Sun and go down to the station. They turn to page 3, then they cross their legs. 'Cause they're fine, upstanding members of society. And they love their walking, great big value paper with pictures of me on page 3. Watch me now. I think my jeans are too tight. I've had what it takes since I was 16. I met a guy on a bus, said he'd help my career. Said he took pictures for a nice magazine, and all I had to do was take off my gear and spread out like a haddock, showing off me lunch. He told me it would be in next month's Woman's Zone. He lied to me. Used to handle myself, but now I've got an agent who's got my best interests at heart. Wants maximum exposure for my talent. Says keep your head together and your legs apart. I've got Eugene Should it be against the law? Is it really exploitation? Yes. You're being exploited by me. Watch me now. Ooh, yeah, I beg you for it. Give it to me. Give me the man now.
Welcome back to the climax of Blue Film Buff of the Year. And let's have a quick look at the scores. Our primary school headmaster, Mr. X, has 30. Scout leader, Mr. Y, has 55. Miss J, the token kinky woman, 3. And in the lead, our cabinet minister, the Right Honourable Mr. B, 378. Now let's have a look at this scene from a classic blue movie.
Oh, well, I think that's all right. Yeah. You like that? Yeah.
Can you go a little higher for me?
Okay, had a good look? It's nothing to do with the show, but I thought you'd like to see it anyway. So it's back to the quiz and the buzzer round. Fingers ready.
Fingers Ready, made in 1981.
Well, actually, I hadn't started yet. You came in too quickly there.
You came too quickly. Directed by...
No. I hadn't started yet, but I will start now. What was unique about the 1976 blue movie sizzler, Danish Rashers?
It had a script.
Correct. And for 2 bonus points, can anyone lend me a copy? 2 more points to you. How was the 1976 film Laughing Gear retitled for the American market?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Correct. From which blue movie was this music taken?
All of them.
Correct. And that brings us to the end of the contest. And a quick look at the scores shows us our winner is our cabinet minister, the Right Honourable Mr. B. All of our finalists received one of our Blue Film Buff of the Year raincoats. And our winner receives this handsome trophy. So it only leaves me to say to our winner, congratulations, you filthy pervert.
And now, the BBC proudly presents the moment everyone's been waiting for.
Hello, rat fans! Hey, that looks interesting! Hey, yeah!
Right, good morning. Now, if you have just joined us here on breakfast time, the time is, well, a big hand's on 7 and a little hand's... Well, it's quite early anyway. Anyway, this morning we're lucky enough to be joined by Sir Charles Ringland, who is in fact a city banker. Excuse me, city banker. And he's not short of a few bob because he's also a multi-millionaire. Sir Charles, good morning.
Good morning, Debbie.
Now, Sir Charles, it's very nice of you to come and join us this morning because you're a very busy man, aren't you? What with the two jobs, multi-millionaire and city banker. Now, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Because yesterday, your son Matthew, who's 25, was kidnapped, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Well, I must just ask you this, Sir Charles, because I'm dying to know, and I think a lot of people at home want to know as well, and I know my nan will kill me if I don't ask you. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm very worried and upset.
Oh, so you miss him then?
Yes, I'd do anything to get him back.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Because a lot of dads don't get on with their sons, do they? Now, I must just ask you this. Have you heard from the kidnappers?
Yes, just this morning.
Oh, how exciting. Did they send you a postcard?
No.
Oh, or was it a letter with words cut out of newspapers?
An ear.
An ear? That's
Yes, they cut off one of Matthew's ear and sent it to me with a demand for £5 million.
Oh, have you got that sort of money then?
Well, yes, I have, but
Mr. Charles, I was wondering, why don't you ask the ear where the rest of Matthew is? Oh, no, that's silly. No, the ear couldn't tell you, could it? Not without the mouth as well. No, it's absolutely fascinating talking to you, Sir Charles. Now, would you come back tomorrow and tell us if you've actually managed to raise the ransom money? Or if they've sent you any more bits of Matthew back? Or if they just decided to kill him? Would you do that? That was absolutely smashing. Now, we've just got time to go over to our breakfast time kitchen, where Glyn Christian's concocting some smashing things with steak and kidney. I hope they're not Matthew's. No, that was smashing.
Good evening. This has not been an easy year for the government. After 6 years in power, unemployment now stands at 27 million. Schools, hospitals, and old age pensions are things of the past. And as a result of our insistence on the presence of American cruise missiles at Greenham Common, at 5 o'clock tonight, our time, Britain will be devastated by a 50,000 megaton nuclear attack from the Soviet Union. However, I have been asked to point out by the Prime Minister that as a result of the policies pursued by this government over the past 6 years, inflation is now down below 5% for the first time in a decade. And I would like to take this opportunity, in the 4 minutes you have left, to ask you what this means for Britain. In Argentina, where the inflation rate is 1,000%, 4 minutes would reduce the value of this pound note to 3/4 of its value. In Brazil, the inflation rate is even higher. In the time between the 4-minute warning and the actual attack, the value of your money would be halved. This only goes to show how lucky we are to have a government which has made sound money its foremost objective. Now, as you make your final preparations for being burnt to a crisp, you can fry secure in the knowledge that there is only one country in the world with an inflation rate lower than we have in Britain, Switzerland. And that's where I'm speaking from now. Good night.
Television's most shocking and thought-provoking film of 1986. The Nightmare. When things got out of control. Madhur Jaffrey's Indian cookery disaster.
Kontio. Imperialista ciskaja zapadnia kultury. I ono soju mój pantalonoj.
Well, I was 28 stone, but then I went on this diet and I lost 18 stone in a year. But over the past 4 weeks, I've put 6 stone back on again. It's not my fault. It's glandular. I've got this gland that makes me a greedy bastard.